everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Louise and I am an eBay reseller. In today's video I'm going to talk to you about organisation. I'm going to talk to you about how I do my stock, how I do my organisation, talk to you about what SKU codes are and also a little bit about my spreadsheet that I use. So firstly, before I even begin, this is something that hopefully you've done since day one. If you are a new reseller, please start doing your organisation now. It might seem quite simple. You might think, why do I need to do my organisation now? I've only got a little bit, it's only a hobby, that sort of thing. But if you start it now, it will make things so much easier a little bit later on. Trust me, if you ask any reseller who has been doing this for a long time and didn't do their organisation from the beginning, they will say the exact same thing. Make sure you organise everything from the beginning. If you are already a reseller who's been doing this for maybe a short amount of time, a long amount of time, and you still haven't organised your stock or got a complete system going, then please make sure that you watch this video and hopefully it will give you some inspiration on how to sort your stock out. It will take a long time and it will be quite tedious, but at least it will be done. So everything that I'm going to say in this video, it works for me, it works for the space I have, the items I have, etc. But obviously everybody's different. You might have different items, you might have different storage spaces, etc. So hopefully you can have a watch of this video. And if you haven't, or you need to redo your stock organisation, then at least you can then hopefully adopt some of the ideas and apply it to your own stock control and organisation. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is SKU codes. So SKU stands for Stock Keeping Unit. Now this is a completely unique code that you can create. It is completely up to you what you want it to be. When I first started reselling, I was doing a lot of research into how people do their organisation, and people were just saying, I just then put my SKU code on. I still didn't understand what an SKU code was. I don't know how you create one. I didn't know what it was made up of, etc. I then did a little bit more research into actually what an SKU code is, realised it was something that you can completely make yourself. It's up to you how you want it to look, what you want it to say. It's completely up to you how your business works and also what your items are and how it's stored as well. So a couple of examples that I can give you is that you might want to have the first thing as the box letter or whatever your boxes are called. So in this case, my first box over here is box A. So for example, I might put A06 and then it might be a Bowden dress. So I'll then put a B and then I might put then D for dress or something like that. So that could be one way that you could do an SKU code. Another way that some people do it is they will have A for the box and they will actually put the date of when they got it. So for example, they might put 190601 or something like that. They might then put another number on the end that might say 0102 or something like that to know which numbered item it was from that day. So they can then look at the SKU codes then and see how long they've had that item. So that is quite a good indicator of how they do that. So as I said at the start, an SKU code is unique to you. It is completely whatever you want to make it, and it's all about whatever works for you, your space, your items. So your items might be massive, and they might only be able to fit in certain areas. You might want to just put on the shelving, shelf B, shelf C if you've got quite large items. And then you might just want to put it's in C2, C3, C4, something like that maybe. You know, it's completely up to you how you want to do your SKU codes. It is something that you create. So once I've photographed all my items, I can then start organising my stock and put them into the boxes that they need to go into. So the very first thing, as I say, is boxes. Now, boxes, shelves, whatever it is that suits your business. So whether it is the really useful boxes or the brand really useful boxes, because they are probably the best kind of really sturdy boxes that you can get. The ones that I've got are actually from IKEA. That's because they fitted the shelves that I've got and suit the space that I've got. And I don't really need completely sturdy boxes. They're not stacked on top of each other. They are on a shelf. So they don't need to be really sturdy in that sort of way. And also if they break, the stuff that's inside isn't also going to break. So I can just go then buy another box and then replace that box if I need to. But they are still pretty sturdy boxes. If you watch my previous video about garage transformation, I explained to you what these boxes are and what I've done with these boxes. So it goes here from A all the way down over here to O. Then on this side again, then goes to P all the way down to Z and AA for my plushies. Now how I've organised this is that A starts with size 6, then to size 8, 2 10s, 2 12s, and then over here is more dresses at the top, 14s, 16s and 18s plus down here, and then it also then other more women's clothes over here and all men's clothes over here. So the item I'm going to use as an example is a size 6 Bowden dress, as I sort of mentioned in the SKU code section. So I know that it's going to go into my box A because that is my size 6s. So once I photograph the item, I then fold it, and I fold it in a way so that the labels are showing. That way I can then see what brand it is and hopefully as well what size it is. So when I'm packaging up my items, I can just double check against the SKU code to make sure that they do match and that I am picking the right item. So once I've folded it, I will then put it into a clear little plastic poly bag. And I have two particular sizes. I have a small size here, which I think is a 10 by 12 poly bag. It's just a clear one. And I get the ones that have the warning. I don't know if you can see that so well, but with the warnings all over it. And also we've got two little holes in there as well. I then also have these much larger ones here. I can't exactly remember which size this is, but it's quite large. All the links to these will be in the description below. It's quite a large bag, and this is more for sort of jeans, coats, jumpers, larger things like that. And this one, this smaller little one, is more for t-shirts, smaller dresses, some shoes as well, all that sort of stuff, shirts and things. So I will put it into the poly bag, and as I say, I'll make sure that when it is folded, you can see the labels at the top. So an example I've got over here is this one here. So in the poly bag, it's all folded up nice and neatly. You can see that it's Bowden, it's a size 6, and also that it is Nubitex as well. So you can see that. So once it's all folded and it's nice and neat in the poly bag, I will then put the SKU code on it. So I have a roll of labels here, just plain white labels. Nothing fancy, nothing special. They're kind of like the address labels that you get. I will stick one of those on, and then I will write down my SKU code. Now, the code that I personally use in this case is this. So the A relates, as I said earlier, to the box. That's how I like to keep it at the beginning. Even though it's in box A, obviously on eBay, my SKU code will say A762. So I can see then when I look on my eBay, I can see that it's going to be in box A and it's number 762. So I can go into that box and I can pick out this particular item nice and easy. The 762 part of it, something I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about later. On my spreadsheet, I have a whole column full of item numbers. Now, them item numbers literally just range from 1 all the way down to whatever number I'm currently on with my items. So this is currently number 762. So literally all I do then is I have box A and then that item number, and that literally is it. So the numbers will never be repeated. I will never need to have the same number, and will never need to delete that previous number and go, okay, that is sold after 60 days. I'm going to reuse that number again. It's a number that will always be unique to this item forever. So even if I get up to 1,000 items, 2,000 items, it will just say A 2074, something like that. So these numbers never change. Now, a really important thing that I find with these SKU labels, especially with these big boxes like this, as you can see, I have a lot of stuff in one box, and you can see here as well that they're all sort of nice and neatly piled on top of each other. Now, when I put my SKU codes on, I put them right at the bottom of the actual package itself, and I do that with every single one. So you can see the label at the top, so you can see what brand it is, and at the bottom then you have the SKU code. I'm just going to show you what that looks like inside of a box. So hopefully you can see here that I have got box F, and they are for size 12 and medium dresses. And inside here you can see at the very front, you can see that I have my SKU codes. So what happens is that when I sell an item, I don't know whether you can see over here that my SKU codes are visible. So as I'm searching through, you can see, probably not so well on that one, but you can see that all my SKU codes are at the front. So I can then see what SKU codes they are, and I can really quickly flip through and I can find the item that I'm looking for. So that is why I recommend putting the SKU codes at the bottom or at the same place on the item, and then leave them all at the same sort of angle all the way that they're facing. So that is something I definitely recommend doing. Once your items have got an SKU code, you've already made a note of it, you've put them on your items, it is now time to update your listing. So if you've already listed your item on eBay, or if you still need to list your item on eBay, there is a part on eBay where it says custom label, and then in brackets is SKU. And in that SKU code is where you can put obviously your SKU number in. The buyers won't see it, nobody else can see it, only you can see it. It is just a little reference number for you to use when you're selling your items. So when you finish packaging your items, you can have a look on there and it will already tell you the SKU code for that item. So it's easy to find and then you can package it nice and easily as well. It's really important to update your listings to have that SKU code in there. It will make things so much easier. Without updating it on eBay, it's pretty pointless actually doing your SKU codes and organising the items in that sort of way. So make sure that you do update that on eBay. So the final thing that I want to talk to you about organisation is, as I said earlier, is my spreadsheet. So this spreadsheet is something that I created when I first started. I just wanted to keep note of all the items that I was buying. Now, I know a lot of people don't use spreadsheets, and that's completely fine. You don't have to use one. People just like to scan in their receipts into something like QuickBooks to be able to know how much they paid on that particular day. But personally, I like to use a spreadsheet. I like to know how much I paid for what particular item, how much profit I've got from that item, and when I've sold it, when I bought it, etc. So in my spreadsheet, I have the following columns. So I have an item number, which is the SKU. I then have the gender, the item type, whether it is sort of dress, shirt, shoes, whatever it might be. I then put the brand. I then put the colour. I then put the size. I then put features as well. Features is just kind of my own little description of the item. Because say if I have two Bowden dresses that are size 6s, what is different about them? They might both be blue, does one have lace, does one have flowers, all that sort of stuff. So that's just a personal thing that I want to put in to help me understand which item's which. I also then have the cost price, how much it sold for, and then it will calculate how much profit I've made from that just based off the cost price of it. I then also put down what month I bought it, what month I sold it, and also what box it is in. Now, that does sound quite a lot. It sounds quite a lot of work, but once you've got the hang of it, it's so easy to do. This is something that I have been working on for a while, and I have been sort of adding to and changing as and when I feel like it's necessary, with a lot of formulas and a lot of other things to my spreadsheet that do apply to other parts in the spreadsheet. So, for example, my month bought, my month sold, how much I sold it for, how much profit, etc. I have then a separate sheet within my spreadsheet that shows me profits and losses of that month and things like that. So there is a lot more to my spreadsheet than literally just a load of columns and a load of data. There's a lot more analytics that I can do with my spreadsheet as well. So that is it for this video. If there are any comments or any questions that you have, please do pop them down below. I'm happy to answer them and get back to you. If there's a common question or a common thing that people are getting confused about or stuck on, I'll probably do another video on it just to do a little bit more clarification or go through it a little bit deeper. I do hope that you took something away from that. I do hope it helped. And I also do hope that if you haven't already, you are now going to go organise your stuff and get that sorted. You might think that it's a waste of time. You might think that it's really long to do. But if you do it now and spend the time doing it now, it will make things so much quicker and easier in the long run. Trust me. If you do want to see a little bit more about my spreadsheet, how it works, what it looks like, what's in it, all that sort of stuff, then again, please do let me know below and I might do a separate video on that a little bit later. So if you did like that video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you got this far and you're not already subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button. And again, hit that little bell button as well to be notified when the next video is coming out as well. Thank you very much for watching, as always, and I will see you soon.